Welcome back to Anything Goes Garage. Merry Christmas. Christmas Eve 2023. Out here in the shop doing a few things this morning. Worked on the Packard yesterday, a little sore dealing with this rotator issue. I think today's project is this steering column for Project 64. This was what was in the truck. It's got black paint on it, it's red, it's this color, it's that color, the horn, this is that, it's all loose. I'm gonna take this apart and restore it, and then we'll shoot it whatever the interior color is gonna be. Polish up all the chrome and aluminum on it, what's on there, the indicator and all that, and make sure all the wiring's good and square. I gotta change the end on that for the steering box, because the other one's in here. Clean and lube everything in here, put it back together, and get ready to go back in the truck. So we're gonna work on that a little bit today, and just kind of take it easy. Hurting a little bit. Not feeling the greatest. There's, that bug going around, whatever the hell that is. But yeah, a lot of sneezing, a lot of sniffling, a lot of crap going around. People with the pneumonia and stomach bugs and all. It's all going around, whatever. So anyway, yeah, I'm supposed to be working on the Packard a little bit today, I think. We'll see what's going on with that, but otherwise, just gonna chill around here for a bit. We'll work on this. Take off this indicator. This is aluminum. This will polish up real nice. And the other one that's on the other column is plastic, and it's broke. So I'm gonna keep one for parts, but still try to salvage the other one. Yeah, 3-speed. Indicator here is supposed to be backlit. We'll put this on there. Got to clean it up. I think there's on that one. See, that one's broke. There's a wire. Actually, it's what do they call that? Some kind of a, where's that electric? No. What the heck do they call it where the light goes in? Fiber optic. That's it. It's the old early version of fiber optic. So I can't backlight that with just anything. So let's see here. Get this clamp off of here. This is hokey. Looks like it's already undone. Oh yeah, there we go. One of these rubber seals isn't going to work. I think it's this one. Yeah, this one's from 67 to 72. So I'm going to try to get this wheel off, and that ought to be interesting without breaking it. I'd like to use this horn cap again, because I do like this style. And we'll get all this apart. Oh, wow. I hope these don't break off in the back. I sure hate to mess this up. It's only pot metal. I can't even tell you what is in there. Flashlight. And somebody used flat tip screws through the back of this thing, and I think it caught like the first 2 threads. So I don't know how mangled the pot metal is going to be in this thing. Unless I can't. I'm kind of doing this blind. Oh, this one's got actually more than 1 thread. Oh, that's cool. Oh, broken plastic. I'm gonna be doing some gluing. More non-stock screws again. Gotta love it. See how far these things go in. I do have these replacement parts, and they do make them this plastic piece, this insulator. 2 of the screws are right, the other one isn't. But it's missing the spring and all the rest of this stuff, so I've been down this road before with these things. Oh wow, look, more screws. Oh yeah, look at that. This one's a lot different. 3/4. Oh look, there's the horn thing. Guess it kept going off, so they put tape over it. I do have that part. All right, so 3/4 inch wrench and impact gun. Hopefully this doesn't require a puller. At least they didn't mangle the threads. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to go get my puller. Okay. All right. Look in here. Oop. All right. Let's see how easy this is to get off. Oop. Oh boy. Not liking that at all. Sometimes got to be a little rough. Bless you. This one's a sticker here. Usually they come right off. I think it actually was coming. Come on. There it goes. Look at that. She was on there. On there good. Let me get this apart. If I'm not mistaken, this was one of the factory optional wheels. I'm going to try to blast this back to white and then put some epoxy paint on it. It looks pretty good. There's a couple little cracks in it, but I'm surprised they don't. I haven't seen the old school steering wheel covers, not the wrap around ones, but these wrap around and then it has the lace that goes around them. I used to like those. I can't seem to find them anymore. Now it's all those bougie diamond ones and some that have your name on it and all that crap. They just wrap around. They're just cheesy, you know. Not those ones that look like a toilet seat cover either. I don't like those things. I like the ones with the little holes in it. You got some of you older, well, I wouldn't say older, but some of you people know who around my age should know. Probably seen them around. But yeah, I'm going to try to find some of them. All right, so here's your turn signal canceller and your horn thingy. There's your turn signal cam. Hopefully it doesn't have anything broken, but you can buy these new, parts store or aftermarkets. Can still get them. Usually these are brittle. Comes with the harness and all. A little tricky to get the harness down inside the column, but worst comes to worst, you have problems, you just cut the old plug off and weave it down there. I've done it that way. These are not fun to get out sometimes. Usually got to push it. Where is the... Did they cut that off? Oh, here it is. Oh! There's the shoulder. Let me know it's there. Now, there's this. Has to come off. And there's tape around here. That's that tar tape. And then there's this cover that slips in the back of this thing. But this boot has to come off. This goes up to the dashboard on 67 to 72. Actually, I should just cut that off. Now that that's removed, this should slide out of there. There's that piece. That keeps the harness from getting crushed. This should push through. Oh wait, there's more screws in here. I forgot. I haven't done these in a while. Should be another Phillips head inside here. Right there. Here and here. You don't lose these screws. This is a special shouldered screw. There's 3 of them. You usually got to pull this cam out of the way to get these screws out like that. Okay. Yeah, I went to a drill. A little easier, a little faster. There's also, oop, what was that? Oh, that was the other screw. And you got to watch pulling this out. It has a 4-way flasher stub sticking out. Usually they unscrew, but that don't look like it's trying to cooperate. This whole thing should pop out of here, but it's not cooperating. We've got stuckage in here. Oop, there it goes. All right. Now somebody's already cut this and spliced it because they couldn't get it through here. So I see their method behind the madness, trying to get, these are 2 pieces, but trying to get them behind here. I think you have to take this all apart to really fish it in there. But when it's in the truck, you're not getting that through there. It's just easier to cut them and put connectors in it. They made this one super short. So I'm going to have to undo this, cut everything again. And as you can see, well, there's one wire not connected in there. Brown wire, I think that's the horn. I think that's the horn. I'm not sure. I gotta look at my book. Well, they got this thing all tangled up. It's not a very pretty job, but I have to get some cutters and cut all this so we can start over again. It's a little short. We'll do them with new connectors and shrink wrap and do it right. Might go to bleed out with all this one here. You know what? Let me cut this back because they have all this tape on here. No sense fighting it any more than I have to. And there you go, 1 turn signal switch. We'll clean that, inspect that. If there's anything broke or brittle on it, I'll just get a new one. As for this, these get tricky because it got a bearing in here. I don't remember how that comes out. This shaft should slide right out of here. I think it's yeah, it's the grease in this thing is so caramelized or solidified that they're going to be tough to push out. So I'm going to take that other side apart where the intermediate is, just to get the weight off of this thing and stop messing around with this thing. I can't even talk today. Funking around. Yeah, that's what I thought I was going to say. All right, so this is in two-piece like some of the later ones were two-piece. For some reason, I don't know which one. I think the 64, 5, 6 were, that I'm not mistaken. That bearing does come off. It comes off this shaft. Everything was just so solidified in there. I guess I'm going to have to pull this apart. There is a bearing in the bottom of this too. I'm trying not to upset it, but it does come out in one piece. You can see how dirty and nasty it is. But that's your bearing retainer. That retains all air. There's a big spring and there's a tube in here for the shifter. All that's going to come apart, get cleaned, get lubed, get painted, and reassembled. Wow, this thing's been in here a long time. Wow, I might have to spray this up a little bit because it's not being very friendly. Spray up a little PB blaster. In fact, I'm going to run that back in and there we go. A little bit of spray don't help. Spray and pray. And now it's solidified again, so. Oh! My clamp didn't, I don't want to clamp on this tube because I don't want to crush it, so. Yeah. It's almost out, so. Come on. It's there. Ah, there we go. And there you go. Just get this centered in there. Okay, so there's a bearing down here that's going to get cleaned out and inspected and probably put back in with new grease. So clean that up. Guess we're going to be using that because the other one is on the gearbox, but I can remove it and just use that then if they're the same length. These are collapsible supposedly, but I think they're pinned. Or is that for shear when you get in an accident? Are they supposed to shear and collapse, I think? I don't know. Okay, so this piece, I call bell, or your housing. You just turn that, and that thing comes off. And then you have the tube. You pull your pin out for your shifter. All this comes off. And you pull your tube out. You have to undo down here, and you have to watch what parts are down here and in here. Keep note of where they go, because the one fun one to do is a 3-speed on the column. If you ever restored one of them, that's a trip, because the way this pulls back and forth for first, second, and third and reverse, when you pull on this, it pulls one tube, moves another, moves the lever down there. Yeah, they're tricky. This one's quite easy, so I'm gonna get the rest of this apart. All right, so we'll see if we can get this pin out of here without losing it. All right, there's the pin. Maybe a spring behind here. Supposed to be a spring on the end of that, usually. Who knows? People take things apart. Don't put things back. No? Oh, yeah, there's something in there. All right, so I got to get that out of there. I don't know what. There's a sleeve in there. Oh, there it is. There's a sleeve. It just disintegrated my hand. Those, I believe, were still available, but that takes all the slop out of this. All right, let's take these bearing retainer bolts out of here. They're very short, and these are coarse thread. The earlier ones, oh, you're kidding me. That one's 3/8 and this one's 7/16. Okay, well, we'll take the other ones out while we're here. Look like valve cover bolts from a small block Chevy, but they're a little short. Yeah, these are fine thread here for this retainer, but this should hold the tube in. Yeah, there we go. Always make note of where everything goes. Let me get a socket for that one. Yep, there's the bearing housing. This might come right out. Let me put this down over here. Come on. There we go. And there's your bearing and there's your housing. This piece of aluminum goes in the end here. Now this, I believe, should slide out. Of course. All right, this may take some finagling. Gotta check down there. I think that locks on there. There you go. You gotta turn this and just wiggle it off. And there you go. I know the Fords, they have a replacement for these. I think it was LMC had the Ford version. I'm sure they have for GM. They have everything else. So this should come out through the back here. There we go. It's like I'm pulling a barrel out of an MG. Let's change the barrel on the MG. It's getting hot, melting down. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, that knows their pew-pews. All right, so that's the end of with the selector, the spring. This is locked on here somehow, but I'm not going to go crazy with this. Yeah, this is, how's that like? I guess it's just pressed on there. We won't screw with this. We'll just clean it up and grease it up. There's a dust seal. And we'll just wire wheel that. And that'll probably be about it. Shoot some penetrating oil or something on it just to keep it from rusting anymore. Could take that off. I think we're pretty much done. So that there, boys and girls, is what makes up a automatic transmission steering column in Project 64. Actually, this column is from 67 to 72. This has been swapped out, but all the same, pretty much. There's the shaft. Clean that up. Everything's going to get washed, blasted, painted, lubed, whatever it takes. Parts replaced that needs to be replaced. And can't forget the steering wheel, wherever that went. Oh, that right there. Hey, Maggie. So yeah, I might start washing some of these parts up, run them through the blaster, get some paint, because I just got a fresh order of paint in. And I'll take you along for the ride as it goes. Good morning and Merry Christmas. Maggie says Merry Christmas. Got some stuff done on that steering column yesterday. Got it all part cleaned up and primered up and getting ready to reassemble it today, tomorrow. I don't know, I got all week off, so. But I'm going to try to get it assembled within the next day or two. Just a little something I wanted to get done, put off to the side, so when it comes time for assembly, it's done, put it in, and adjust, and go. Yeah, so I'm just kind of goofing around today, just relaxing. Maybe I'll take one of the hot rods out for a ride, and maybe I'll bring you along with me. We'll see what happens. I'm a little on the slow side today. I just got out of bed. I think it's like 11:15-ish. I didn't get out of bed till 10:15. There wasn't even any adult beverages involved. Just tired, run down. I guess tis the season, so. Yeah, I got some stuff done here. Let me show you what I got. So I have the main tube sanded, primed. All the outer pieces that are getting painted. I got to do this yet, but I did fix the emblem in the back, whatever that is. That's clean. That's clean. These are been cleaned out of all the old grease and dirt and re-lubed. That's been lubed. That's been cleaned out and lubed. I polished that. This didn't come up that good. I thought this was aluminum, but it's some kind of a stainless or something. I don't know. But that's all cleaned up, and I painted the end. These are polished best I can. A little rust on them, but they're not bad. Right now I have the, what's outside? The steering wheel is being painted now. So I'm going to paint it with, I'm going to try it with this. I got almost half a quart of this. I don't know, it almost looks like the factory fawn, whatever they call that color. I'm going to shoot the column in this. If I don't like it, I can always repaint it. So I want to get this thing back together before I forget how it goes back together, but I'm usually pretty good with that. So let me finish up some painting, and maybe I'll get some of this back together today. All right, so after that little fun run in the Chevelle, here we are painted. Started to put the bushings back in, lube everything up. All the parts look good. Now I gotta pick my brain on how to remember how this goes back together, because I do not have a service manual, but I will figure this out. I've done a few. I've been down this block. This ain't my first rodeo. All right, so I ran a tap through here. These threads were a little compromised in this bearing retainer. I still have to put that strap that goes around here yet, but I gotta clean them up and paint them. For now, I'm just trying to hold the bearing in place. This will set your tension on that tube. As you can see, it goes in and out. So I can see it from here. Okay. That sets your tension on your tube, your shift tube, and your bearing clearance. Let me tighten this up a little more without messing up my paint. It's getting heavy on the one end. All right, so that part there is done. That's done. I think I'm going to have to start on the other end. Okay, on this end, if I remember right, well, actually, you know what? I'm going to put a little bit of grease on the back side in here, because this here pivots on that thrust washer inside there. So I'm going to put a little grease in here and a little grease inside where the tube runs. You can put a little on that so it's nice and smooth. It actuates nice, because it does slide on this. So I got a little extra on this, but there's plenty in there. Now you're going to take this carefully and line that slot up on the tube. And this is the other thing, it keeps it, that pushing support down the other end keeps it from pushing through too and fighting you. Now this thing's a little bit of a pain. Once you get it lined up, it goes in something like that. Now, the wires come out through the bottom here. So what you have to do is, before you push this all the way on, you got to get the rest of this all together to feed the wires through there, even though they're flat. But if you push this all the way on, it just reduces this by a little bit. Not by much, but actually no. Here we go. This might actually work, because actually the hole is bigger in here. The other ones didn't have this. The earlier ones didn't have this flat on here. You had to literally had to finagle it in there. So let me get the rest of these prepped and with some grease, and we'll set the bearing. Okay, I'll give you an example why to oil this thing. This shifter, if you see this pin on the end, goes in a little hole in that tube right there. And that's what makes this the tube go in and out up against that spring on the other side. So that's why it's very important to lube this really well for it to work nicely. We'll put the pin in last, but I'm just trying to explain kind of what you got to look for as you're doing these. Okay, this is the bearing down in here. You line up the 3 holes. You feed your wire through the slot in the back. There's only one spot to go in there. Then you put your 4-way flasher switch in on an angle and go in, and then you got these 3-shouldered bolts that hold this whole assembly together. You'll drop them in and just snug those up. Not even snug them up, just leave them a little bit loose. One, you have to turn the cam to get to it because the cam's in the way, but you just go ahead and snug them. Just run them down a little bit. Careful with the plastic. It breaks easy if you don't get it all the way to the shoulder all the way down. But this one here, you got to move that cam over to get to it. So you need to run this one fairly flush to do it. That should be good. I'm going to use both fingers to move them because these are very easy to break, even when they're new. And then you'll run this one down. That wasn't very nice. Back that one off. It looks seems like it's crooked or something. No, it's all the way down. Okay. All right, I'm gonna run these, just snug these down. This is all that switch bolts to. So that part there, you can snug them up later. And of course, your turn signal switch goes the opposite of your shifter. or yes, the opposite. I'm gonna have to run these wires in. Might be best bet is to take and tie these up so you can feed them through a little easier. I'm gonna get some tape. All right, so I'm gonna feed this harness right where that flat is through that shifter bell or whatever you want to call it. I taped them together, but they're still a little fat. Once you get them through, started, they get a little easier. The tape's a little thick. There we go. I can't tighten this down much farther because I don't want to scratch all the paint. So this is going to go in here and it turns. It's got notches in here that this is going to lock onto. So I got to somehow, I got to go clean my hands. Probably be touching all this and then we'll put our shaft in. Dang it. All right, so as from the factory, this also is coated with grease before inserting into the tube. It's probably so when you go to take it apart somewhere down the line, that it actually comes apart. Now you gotta watch you don't jam this thing down the other end real far and real hard because it'll knock everything out the other side. So the only fun part is now I gotta support this with something or it's gonna end up on the ground. Okay. Square peg, round hole. There it goes. All right, so now I knock this thing back off. I have to realign it. There it goes. All right, that's in. The thrust is set by the spring and the washer in the back. And this here, when you bolt the steering wheel down and put all this, the canceling tool and the canceling cam and all the thing, this has to be clocked correctly or the steering wheel will be off. When you turn the turn signal, if it ain't straight ahead, all that crap. I usually just leave the wheel loose for now so you can clock it when it's straight ahead position. But otherwise, for now, we'll get something on here. See what we can do. All right, we're looking like something. Some of this I couldn't hold the camera and show this, but I did get the retaining plates on. I got to set this collar, preload that, and put this on, but I'll do that last. Right now I'm going to put this shifter in, the handle, and that will go in there like that. I'm just going to make sure it's in that slot. There it goes. There, and then I just drive the pin in, put your indicator on. I got to put this back in with the, what do you call that? Fiber optic, but the fiber optic doesn't work. It's crazy how that works though. I painted the top of it. I don't know how good it's gonna show up, but it's a pretty neat little thing. If you take a flashlight, right? Now watch. And that's what lights up. All it does is fiber optic. That's it. It does fiber optic things. Yes. So they were around a long time. 60s, maybe 50s. I've seen it in the 60s, but first columns in the late 60s, early 70s. But I'm gonna button this up. I got this stuff on here. This is just an aftermarket to pull the spring in. I'm gonna undo it. I could probably do that collar down there, tighten up some stuff, and we're almost done. Almost done. Okay, so the pin for the shifter's in, and the column does column stuff down there at the lever when you pull that back. So that is correctly hooked up. I guess I could put this on here. If I can find the screws. I think these are the screws for this. I know they're tapered screws. Let's see here. Well, actually I gotta change this PRND L1, L2, whatever. Oops. Because it is getting an overdrive. So this column won't really work with the overdrive. Won't be able to manually select first gear because it's a 700, which I don't care. It's not a race truck. It's not a race truck. Don't really care about that. I'm not going to go buy a whole I did it column and all that stuff and put it on the floor or whatever. I just want it to work. Okay. Look at that. Ain't that pretty? Let's polish that up a little bit when we're done. Now this fiber optic indicator has a broken tab on the end. For now, I'm just going to put the screw in the back just to hold it because it has two pins in the front. I'm gonna order a new one when I do another Classic Industries order. But for now, it's on there. It should be good. The other one on the other column's broken, so what are you gonna do, you know? They're brittle, they're old. That's what they do. They do brittle and old stuff. I can hook up your neutral safety switch. Let me turn this a little bit. There we go. Now there's a little slot tab right in here. That goes in here. You gotta line that up. And these are adjustable if you have to adjust them if it doesn't do park neutral or park and what do you call it? Neutral safety switch stuff. You can adjust these. I'm trying to see if, oh wait, I think it does go that way. Why doesn't that seem right? I guess it is. You take your 2/4 inch screws. And I did go over this switch with some lubrication, cleaned it all up so it works nice and smooth now. So I'll get it pretty close. Probably just leave them snug for now because I know I'm gonna have to adjust this at some point. Then I have to wire up. The purple wire going to the starter solenoid would be wired through this. It would cut the power to that if this thing's in any other gear besides park or neutral. So this is actually bent just a hair, but we're good. Now it's good. So okay, so this wire cover on the back of the column, it slips in these two tabs, so it only goes one way. Lay the wires as flat as you can, and this slides just to the back side of the column. I don't know why there's not two sets of. I think the back of the dash holds this when you clamp this thing up, but it ain't gonna go nowhere. They don't have any other tabs, so, and that holds that, and this will get redone. So that looks much better already. Okay, so I put the steering wheel. I tried to polish this thing and won't polish. I can't polish on my polisher. It keeps grabbing it, flinging it across the room, which I don't want to destroy it. But this is missing the special spring behind it. I got to order one to keep so it doesn't do this. It should, but it should be spring loaded. But I want to get myself an old school steering wheel cover. I do have to adjust this through here somehow. It's not, this is supposed to be down farther. I have to put that plate, the plate's painted. I can't really adjust this and clamp in a vise. You can't clamp it without tearing all the paint up. I'll order a new one of these. But otherwise, I think it came out pretty nice. It sounds nice. It doesn't all crunchy. It isn't loose. The bearings are nice and clean. Everything seems to work. So, otherwise, no, I call this pretty much done. So, all right, well, thanks for watching. And if you haven't already done it, please subscribe and hit that big like button, and we'll see you again. Take care. Bye.